Hey everybody, it's Kyle. Hey, today I think I want to ask you a question. And the question I want to ask you is this: who will you become? The reason I asked that question is because I was reminded again. I was on Facebook and I had a chance to reconnect with an old high school buddy by the name of Michael Losick. And Michael and I didn't run around together too much in high school, but we did run around a bunch together in junior high. He and I and Alan Thompson were like the three amigos. We kind of did everything together. We palled around, had a lot of fun, goofed around, junior high kid stuff. But in high school, there was a little bit of separation between the two of us, but not really so much that we didn't remain friends. But we did kind of lose connection with each other after high school. And recently I got a friend request from him on Facebook. And it's been, 30 years since I went to high school, so it's been a few years ago. And when I got the friend request, like you do when you get a friend request, you kind of go on their page and you look at some photos and kind of see what they've been up to and what they're posting, and you kind of it's kind of fun to reconnect. Well, Michael Losick had a shaved head, totally entire body except for maybe his face covered in tattoos, riding a Harley. And I'm not passing judgment on him, because if that's what he wants to do, that's fine. But just an entirely different person than I knew. And it kind of made me reflect on someone else who had changed so dramatically since high school, and that was a girl that really made me kind of check myself when it came to how I view people and how I judge people, because I think I really didn't give this girl very much of a chance. So this girl that I went to high school with, in high school she was a little bit I'm trying to think of a good way to say it. It's not mean, but she was kind of loose in high school. I guess it's not really very nice to say, but there were rumors about her, and a lot of them were friends of mine, and she just wasn't very she didn't have very high morals in high school. Let me just put it that way. I mean, I guess that is according to other guys, so maybe they were all lying, but it sure seemed like she was kind of played around a little bit more than what your average high school girl would. And so a few years back, she friended me on Facebook, or requested to be a friend, and I clicked on it. And the first thing I saw was just an over-the-top Christian, kind of I'll call it a Bible basher, just over-the-top Christian, quoting scriptures all over Facebook. And again, I'm okay with that too. I mean, whatever you want to do is what you want to do, and I'm not going to pass judgment. But initially when I saw it, I found myself thinking that she was just this hypocrite, because I knew her from high school, and she was not like that in high school at all. She was just the opposite, as a matter of fact. And so for the first couple, I don't know, the first little bit that I would see posts come up from her and then be so over the top, Bible thumping Christian, it kind of struck me as kind of hypocritical. But then I realized pretty quickly that I'm not the same person I was in high school. How could I expect her to be the same person she was in high school? Because she wasn't. And so I kind of reached out to her and wanted to ask her some questions about, what had caused some of the changes in her life. And the more I learned about her, the more I realized that she had made some decisions as a teenager that she wasn't very proud of, and she had at some point in her life decided that to make some pretty substantial changes, and she was running down a completely different path. And I'm sure that's the same thing with Michael Losick. And so, it got me to thinking about how really decisions kind of change who we become. The decisions we make kind of lead us down a path to who we become. And the choices we make can lead us in one direction or another. And again, I'm not passing judgment. I mean, we all make choices. We all go different paths. But it got me to thinking about some of the choices I made that had led down bad paths, and some of the choices that had led down paths that have made me real happy. And so again, my question to you today is, who will you become? Because in the next 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 years or even 30 years, you'll be a different person than you are right now. And I'm going to challenge you at this point to decide in advance who you want to become in 5 or 10 or 15 or 30 years, and make choices that the person you want to become would make right now. And I'll give you an example of this. When my family and I decided we wanted to thrive as a family, things were falling apart all around us. There was stress and tension in our homes. There was not a lot of happiness. There was so much was going on, so much we couldn't control, and so much was out of range of what we thought could lead to happiness. I remember my wife and I and my 2 oldest sons at the time deciding, you know what, we really want to be happy as a family, and we want to thrive as we experience the chaos that goes on in our home. And so we asked ourselves that question: what choices would I make if I was a person that was thriving right now in my home, if I was a person that was happy? And it changed our family dramatically, because what would happen is, a meltdown would occur, and instead of it causing tension and pain and struggle in our home, we would ask ourselves, what choice and what action would a person who's going to be thriving in chaos and who wants to be happy, what choice would that person make? And we made those choices. Even though we didn't know, we just decided, you know what, if I were thriving in chaos right now, what would I do? And we did that. And as we reported back to each other weekly as a family, we realized that those decisions started really helping us to thrive in the moment. When things got horrible, when things went terribly wrong, when all hell started to break loose, and we made a decision to thrive right then, and we were going to make choices that a person who was thriving would make, it made a dramatic difference in our family and in our lives. And so I want to challenge you right now, because 5 years from now, you won't be the same person. In 10 years, you won't be the same person that you are right now. And in 30 years, you could be dramatically different. And the choices you make today are going to lead you to the person you'll become. So I want to challenge you to make the choice to be happy. Make the choice to thrive. When things start going wrong, say, what would a person who's thriving do right now? What would a person who's happy, who's loving, who's kind do right now? And do that. And if you'll do that, I know that you'll see some positive results, and I know you'll start to thrive now. And 5 years from now, and 10 years from now, and 20 years from now, you'll be a different person, and that person will be a better person than you are right now. And that's what our kids need from us. They need the best we can give them. So I'm going to leave that with you. Have a great day. Make the right choice. The choice that's going to lead you down a path to be a better person. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.